So Aries, your monthly forecast for December begins with, on screen now, your ruler Mars in the adventurous sign of Sagittarius. But you can also see you've got Black Moon Lilith, the Sun and Venus. And that collective can certainly give you an appetite to change things up, to be a little bit more spontaneous. And if you are someone who likes to move around at this time of the year, the chances are you're going to want to make that happen. But in a deeper way, I feel there is a shift going on in your situation, which is seeing certain parts of your life, big strands, really come into a close, which will become very obvious to you by the middle of February as Saturn completes its circuit through the sign of Pisces and moves back into your zodiac sign. That's a real new beginning. So this energy at the start of December could be enticing you to start setting in process the things that will represent your new future. So there's two different opposite energies. Part of it could be a wind down, another part of it very expansive and daring. What's it going to be? Because some of that energy from the past, or even your lower physical vitality, may temper some of the hopes that you've got that are starting to develop with that stellium of energy in Sagittarius, which does like to do things in a different way. It can be very resentful of any restrictions and obligations. If you feel locked in to a situation where you feel your options are rather limited, a bit like if you would the Eight of Swords in the tarot, that's something you need to work hard at trying to overcome in terms of how you approach things. So a little bit of juggling is going to be needed this month. If you've yet to watch your year 2026 deep dive forecast, please see the link below this video. If you do feel that you're at peace with things that have happened in your past, that a job you used to have or a relationship that you used to be involved with is no longer part of who you are, and you're very much on the front foot, wanting to do something in a much more exciting and dynamic way, for sure you can make these energies in Sagittarius work for you fantastically well. But all of this is going to feed into a big conversation that you have around the time of the full moon of the 4th. It's in Gemini, and it could give you a lot of desire to move, actually physically move around. If you find yourself wanting to be more physically active, not a surprise at all. And the position of the North Node in particular does inform that full moon in a potent way. So that 12th house energy in Pisces, watery, emotional, very much to do with culmination, very much in contrast to the lively, vivacious energy of the moon in Gemini and that more expansive sun energy in Sagittarius. So even if you do decide you want to meet up with people, be more social, get into the festivities, some way or somehow or another there could be things linked to your past, whether it's memories, whether your dreams are very vivid, whether it's some things that affected you from your past that are still present in the here and now. They can be very powerful this month, despite the fact that Neptune does go direct on the 10th. If you've yet to order your personal forecast for year 2026, you can do so now. You'll also get your life roadmap report, which helps you to understand the patterns that are played out in your life so far. The combination of the two will help you to plan your moves in the months ahead so much more effectively. 30% off, free gift of your general, love, Chinese and Indian written forecast for each of the 12 signs. Please see the link below for more. On the 11th, Mercury returns to Sagittarius, which it vacated on the 19th of November. And Mercury, of course, is about communication in the sign of Sagittarius. It could be to do with booking tickets, could be buying stuff online if you're looking for some last minute Christmas gifts. But Mercury here is not at its best because it tends to be caught up with the excitement of the big picture and finds details rather irritating. So just be conscious of that. But Mars, your ruler, does move into the most ambitious part of your chart on the 15th. And if you are quite at peace about what you want to evolve around and you're heading towards new targets, I think at this point in the month you could start to gain traction. It's just on the 20th, the new moon in Sagittarius, ordinarily one of the best new moons of the whole year for you, because it's very much in keeping with that fire energy, very passionate, very much in the moment, exciting, all the stuff that you can be when you're on top form. Guess what? We have Neptune and Saturn applying to that position of the moon, just like the new moon, just like we did earlier in the month when your ruler Mars was grating against them too. So as much as you may want to show that thrust early in the month or from the new moon, somehow or another something could just seem to conspire to not let it happen quite as rapidly as you would like. But then on the 21st we have the winter solstice, and that ushers in cardinal quadrant 4, and that desire to focus on your ambitions for the new year is going to show up over the festivities, even if you want to have a good time. But then it's Venus's time to come into conflict with Neptune and Saturn. If there are issues in a relationship context particularly which haven't really been addressed, they may need to be looked at. It may be impossible to keep moving away from accepting that a tender subject may need to be really examined, and escapism won't necessarily provide a solution. So if there are some challenges around a sensitive matter, something that has been kept rather quiet or confidential, I think this is a month where you could find yourself needing to circle back and deal with that before you can really move forwards. But then in the latter part of the month, undoubtedly really, the energy in the sign of Capricorn is going to see you thinking much more actively about next year. And if you are someone who has got your own enterprise, you know, you're very excited about what you want to achieve for the new year, that can be a big part of what you're discussing and sharing with people over the festivities. But if you're not quite sure what you want to do, if what you used to do has changed because through technology or circumstances, you've relocated, family changes, whatever, I feel that's the theme that you take into the new year. How can you really qualify what you need to do for your future? And I feel as we come to the end of this year, it is going to be very, very conscious of Saturn and Neptune still, because they are moving into your sign. Neptune the end of January, Saturn the middle of February, as I mentioned before, and that will release you in some ways to start moving forwards. But I feel if there is any kind of spillover from the past or any kind of legacy issues that aren't quite completely resolved, you need to embrace them, hold them, take them to you, and try to work out what it is that might just be stopping you moving forwards at the speed of light, which is you when you're on absolutely the best of form.